Pro-life advocates are speaking out against proposed legislation in New Jersey that, if passed, would expand access to abortion and require most private insurers to cover abortion and birth control with no out-of-pocket expenses. Joining me now on Skype to talk more about what's being called the, quote, Reproductive Freedom Act is Marie Tacy, Executive Director of New Jersey Right to Life. Marie, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming on. I know this legislation has the support of Democrat Governor Phil Murphy, who's also a Catholic. What are some of the items being proposed in this bill? What can you tell us?
Well, actually, the bill should be called the Freedom to Kill Act because that really is more accurate of a description than the Reproductive Freedom Act. This bill is a very extreme bill. It dehumanizes babies in the womb and allows them to be killed for the entire 9 months of pregnancy. It endangers women's lives. It restrains the right of future legislatures to have a say on one of the most important human rights issues of our time. It will remove the Conscience Clause protection that has been in effect in the state since 1974. It also, if you can believe it, it is so extreme that it allows a baby that is a newborn, that is actually born, to be left abandoned or for a deliberate act to be taken where the child's life is ended, and there would be no prosecution at all for the mother. It's just unbelievably extreme. It also allows people who are not residents of the state to come into the state to have abortions, minors without parental consent. We're really concerned about the whole sex trafficking aspect of this bill. It will allow people from outside our borders to come in and to bring in young girls to have abortions and cover up their dirty little crime. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it will all be paid for by New Jersey taxpayers.
Yeah, very concerning indeed. I want to get your response to one of the lines in the act as it was originally introduced back in October that reads, quote, a fertilized egg, embryo, or fetus shall not have independent rights under the laws of this state. Now, as someone who has been part of the pro-life movement for decades now, what do you make of that statement, and what type of message do you think it sends?
I think it's a terrible message. It completely dehumanizes the baby in the womb. It completely ignores the scientific advances that we have, in this country now since Roe versus Wade. I mean, clearly we can see a baby on ultrasound, which provides a window into the womb. We can see the baby's heart beating before a woman even knows she's pregnant. We know that doctors perform surgeries on babies in the womb and give the babies anesthesia as well as the mother. This bill completely ignores the scientific advances that we have had in this country. And, we always hear about the other side talking about that they won't go back. But really, this bill does exactly that. It brings them back to 1973 and the Roe versus Wade decision, which was so antiquated and built on so many lies and flaws. It's just unbelievable. It's just incredible. And even the arguments that, you hear during Governor Murphy's press conference with his wife and the legislators. I mean, it's the same old rhetoric that we heard 50 years ago. And it's just incredible. It really is. It's shameful as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about also the timing of this bill, Marie. In your opinion, what do you think is behind it?
Well, Governor Murphy announced this bill, announced the introduction of this bill the day after he announced he was running for re-election. So clearly he's trying to appease his pro-abortion supporters. But they're claiming that they're concerned that because of the recent addition of Justice Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, that Roe versus Wade could be overturned. And that's what they're claiming that their concerns are. But New Jersey already has had some of the most permissive abortion laws in the nation. This will make it even, obviously even worse. I mean, right now, the laws say that a licensed physician has to perform abortions in New Jersey, has to have hospital admitting privileges. After a certain period of gestation, abortions have to be done in a licensed hospital. This bill will completely wipe all that out. It invalidates all existing laws that interfere with the right, that are inconsistent with this act. So how in the world is this making, abortion more safe for women? It's allowing non-physicians to do abortions, midwives, nurse practitioners. It's just incredible. And it wouldn't require that abortions have to be done in a licensed ambulatory care facility either. And abortions can be performed the entire 9 months of pregnancy as well, in the state of New Jersey. And it's unbelievable. It's just incredible. Again, we have a New Jersey safe haven law. We were one of the first states to pass such a law. I helped write the law. And it saved 77 babies so far. this law, if enacted, will completely negate the effectiveness of the safe haven law because it will no longer be a fear of prosecution. And there's no, some women who are having their babies who would obviously not want to be prosecuted or face jail time would consider placing their child in a safe environment, which the safe haven law does. And under this act, it doesn't matter what happens to this baby, the mother can't be prosecuted. It's just incredible. And we're talking about born human beings. We're talking about someone who is actually born in this country and should be entitled to the full protection of the law under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution.
Well, Marie, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for what you do. Marie Tacey, Executive Director of New Jersey Right to Life. Thanks again, Marie.
Thank you.